Good afternoon everybody. I'm out here in the kitchen garden today and I'm going to be talking about today succulents, and I'm going to be making a bit of a succulent planter but also showing you how you can propagate your succulents. Succulents come from many different parts of the world, but what unites them all is their ability to be able to withstand long periods with no water or very little water, and that is because of their very fleshy evergreen leaves, and these are their water storage, and that's how they keep themselves going, keep themselves fed, watered throughout these dry periods. They're lovely plants. They come in an array of sizes, colours, textures, some flower, some don't, and I just love them. They're so easy to look after, and if you are someone that you feel you can't look after anything, as in because it's remembering to water them, then succulents are probably for you, because it doesn't matter if you water them and then not water them for several weeks. It's highly likely they will be fine. They do need obviously very good drainage. They don't like to become waterlogged, so whatever you're going to plant them into, you need to ensure they has really good drainage, so holes in the bottom to ensure that water goes away. They don't like to sit in water, because what will happen is they will just rot. Their roots will, they're very shallow rooted and they will just rot. They need really good drainage. They also are much better grown in terracotta pots than plastic. They will grow in plastic, as these ones here have been, but they do prefer to live in a terracotta or a clay kind of ceramic pot, and that's just that because these kind of pots, terracotta, these ones heat up a lot quicker in the sunshine. So when the sun comes out, it warms up the terracotta and the clay, the heat stays there, and it kind of gives them this environment of being at home, somewhere really hot and dry. So I'm going to show you today, I'm going to plant up this container here. I've already filled it. It's got drainage holes in the bottom. There's terracotta pieces at the bottom as well to add and help with drainage, but also within the compost and the soil I've mixed absolutely loads of grit, loads of it. There's more grit to it than there is compost, and again that just adds to the drainage. They heat up and they keep these guys happy. They don't need much nutrients, so kind of once you've planted them in this compost, there is no need to feed them. There is no need to necessarily change the compost. It just may be in a few years that you will need to split them and reduce them, because they do spread. As you can see in this pot here, which I'll come closer to show you, they do spread. This would have just been one planted on its own and it has just spread, so we've got several more, and I'm going to show you in a short while how you can propagate from this. But first of all, we're just going to plant some in this container. As I said, from a lot of these you can probably see they've already spread in these little pots. They would have been just one floret, which is this. It's just one floret, that's what a floret is. Whereas they then produce more and more florets, which are kind of its babies if you like, and they get bigger and spread. So we're just going to get some planted in here. They're very shallow rooted plants, so they don't need a deep pot, hence why this one's not very deep at all. This one isn't, you know, because they're not going to put their roots right down. They won't. Their roots will stick to the surface, because as soon as the water does come, they will soak it up, store it in their leaves, and that will last them throughout the year. And I just think they're beautiful. They're especially lovely when they come into flower and they have these long little stems and these tiny little white flowers. And again, you can get them in such an array of colours. These ones are red, we've got some kind of variegated red and green ones. This one I love, that is absolutely beautiful, a blue one. You can get them in different shapes and sizes from a specialist. Garden centres do sell them, but they just tend to sell the kind of traditional ones like these. So I'm just planting them in, pushing them down just a little bit, not too far. As I say, they just want to sit just on the surface. So in this pot I've put five little pots. And as I say, in time, in a few years, these will spread and fill this whole pot. There's no doubt in that. And what I'm going to do next is actually fill the surface of the soil with grit. Again, what that does is heats up the soil. It also stops bugs, slugs, anything getting onto it so easily. They won't like it. I can't say I've ever seen a slug eat these, but I wouldn't put it past them. So I'm just going to fill them up, fill the surface of it with grit all the way round. You don't have to do this. This is not imperative that you do. It's just something I do. Stops weeds growing, as I say. It stops insects getting onto it, and it warms up the surface of the soil even quicker for them. This one has no grit on the surface of the soil. This was just one floret planted, and then it's gone and covered this whole pot, and it's actually really tightly compact in there now. I'm just going to put one more in, if I can get him out of his pot. Just in the centre. I think this blue one will finish it off, sticking out in the middle, like so. I watered the soil before I started this, so the soil is already got moisture in it, so I'm not going to water them again. I will leave it like that now and let them settle in, and I may water them in about a week's time. And like I said, even if it is boiling hot as it has been, they will be fine. That is where they come from. It's the kind of temperatures they're used to. They won't die. And that's that done. As I say, these guys are very easy to propagate as well. As I said, for you from this was just one floret, and it's had given off loads of other florets, and these are kind of what I say, it's babies. Same with this one. You've got your main floret in the middle, and then you've got all these other little ones on the side. What I tend to do is, again, just get my terracotta pots, little ones, not massive pots, just little pots. Put some grit in the bottom to help with drainage. There's already holes in the bottom of them. My soil, as I said, needs to be more grit than soil, so I'm just going to mix up some compost, general compost, with plenty of grit. You can get grit stones again from your garden centre to be able to do this. You can actually get special compost packs for them that has grit already in it from some garden centres, but I just mix it up myself. Fill those pots till the top. Okay. Then I'm just going to show you using this small little one. You've got this, as I say, this is the main floret, and this is kind of its little baby. And literally all it is just to get in behind that little floret and pull him out. Sometimes they can be quite tightly in there. And what you'll see is generally they have like a little stem on them, and that's its root. So that's the beginning of its root, and literally all it is then just putting that into the soil, and that will grow. So taking your pot filled, just push him into the soil, push him down a bit just so he's stable, push the soil round him so he's stable in there. I'm not going to fill the top of this with grit. I'm going to leave it as is. I will water it once, and then, as I say, I probably will not water these for about another week. Put it somewhere in the sunshine, somewhere warm, and he will grow. He will become a much bigger floret in time, and then eventually he will start to have their little babies on the side. Again, I'll show you on this big one. Even if you've got a big one like this, you haven't got to get all of these out to get one. It is just literally getting in there, getting behind the florets as best you can. Don't worry, you're not going to severely damage this plant, and just pull him out. And there's another one. And again, he's got his little root stem, he's got even some fibrous roots off the side of it. That's perfect. Get your pot. Again, just push him in, push him down, push the soil around him so he's just tightly in there so that the wind isn't going to take him out and blow him off, or a bird ain't going to come along and peck it and pull it out. And that's it. That will then set down his own roots, and like I say, probably in a few years you'll end up potting this on, or you'll have more and more and more. They are just such an easy plant. Some people also call them house leeks, and you can grow these indoors. They don't have to be outside. You can keep them on a windowsill in your conservatory, in your house, just as long as it's somewhere warm, sunny and dry, and you don't overwater it and it has plenty of drainage. And that's it. I do hope you'll have a go. Even if you just got yourself one, like I said, it doesn't take too long. Within a few years you'll have about 10 or 20 of them, and you can become addicted to them. As I say, I do like them. You get so many different forms, different shapes, and they have different flower stems to them. Yeah, they are a good and really easy plant to grow and to propagate from, so give it a go. Next week and the week after, I'm going to be coming to you from my actual own personal garden. I have two videos to do. One I'm going to do on your strawberry plants, so how to grow them, how to propagate from them, and then the other week I'm going to show you again how to grow and how to propagate your lavender, and that's coming from my own personal garden. So I'll see you then. Thank you.